In the serene neighborhood of Seminole Heights, Tampa, Florida, tranquility shattered when a series of brutal murders struck at the heart of the community. In this gripping documentary, we delve into the chilling case of Howell Emanuel Trai Donalson III, whose actions left a community reeling and a city in fear, through interviews. With investigators, experts, and those directly impacted, we uncover the timeline of events, the breakthrough in the investigation, and the quest for justice. Join us as we unravel the mystery surrounding Trai Donalson, exploring the motives behind the crimes and the enduring impact on Seminole Heights. Howell Donalson III was born in North Carolina and grew up in Tampa. To friends and family, the 24-year-old went by Trai. Donalson attended Alonso High School in Hillsborough County, spending half his junior year and his entire senior year as a Raven. He played guard on the varsity basketball team and graduated in 2011. Former classmates were shocked to learn Donalson was arrested and is accused of killing for innocent people. They say the person they know is well-liked, very social, great in sports, and humble. None of Donalson's teachers or basketball coaches would speak on camera. After graduation, Donalson headed to New York City and attended St. John's University. He was a walk-on student athlete for the men's basketball team during the 2011 to 2012 season, but never played in a game. Donalson enrolled in fall of 2011 and graduated in January 2017. While at the university, he maintained a profile page with this description: "My name is Howell Emanuel Donalson, L. My nickname is Trai because I'm third generation. I was born in North Carolina but for the majority of my life raised in Tampa, Florida. I love basketball and plan on walking on for St. John's basketball team." According to his Facebook page, Donalson majored in computer science with a minor in sports management at the private Catholic university. On his LinkedIn page, Donalson writes, "I am a natural-born leader that takes great pride in originality." He goes on to say he is working towards a career in the sports world. From February to May of this year, Donalson worked at Ultimate Medical Academy in Tampa as a classroom support specialist. In a statement, the nonprofit healthcare educational institution says in part, he was terminated for absenteeism. Per hiring policy, Donalson passed a background check prior to employment. Donalson's younger brother attends Trinity School for Children in Tampa. Officials tell Fox 13 News. Donalson was not an employee of the school, but he was giving private athletic coaching to students at outside facilities. Most recently, Donalson was working at the McDonald's in Ybor City as a crew leader. That's where Tampa police arrested him Tuesday. "Oh my goodness, it's really shocking. I mean, it's like crazy knowing that somebody like that would be living basically next to you," said neighbor Awilda Moyet. People who live near the Millwood Drive home that Donalson grew up in are also in disbelief. "We're told his parents and two siblings are very nice and friendly, and the family is close-knit." Donalson's mom and dad own and operate Sheer Excellence Hair Academy on Waters Avenue. On November 28, 2017, police arrested Donalson after he handed a pistol in a bag to his manager at the McDonald's where he worked and instructed her to bury the bag without opening it. Subsequent investigation revealed that the pistol may have fired the bullets used in the killings and that Donalson's cell phone had been in the vicinity of the killings at the relevant times, while a search of Donalson's vehicle found clothing similar to that seen in surveillance footage of the killing. On that basis, police charged Donalson with 4 counts of murder. Donalson stated that the pistol belonged to him but did not state whether he had committed the killings. Donalson was indicted on the charges on December 7, 2017. He pleaded not guilty to all charges 5 days later. On January 23, 2018, Hillsborough State Attorney Andrew Warren announced his office would seek the death penalty against Donalson. A man was shot and killed at about 12 noon on October 9, 2017, as he was waiting at a bus stop near North 15th Street and East Frierson Avenue in the Seminole Heights neighborhood. The victim was identified as Benjamin Edward Mitchell, a 22-year-old African-American man. He is the first known victim. Chronologically of the serial killer, Mitchell had left his home about a block away and was on his way to see his girlfriend. On the morning of October 13th, a city landscape crew was about to mow an overgrown field in the 1000 block of East New Orleans Avenue when they stumbled upon a woman's body. The victim, later identified as Monica Caridad Hoffa, a 32-year-old white female, was shot dead while walking to a friend's home. The shooting is believed to have happened late on October 11th or sometime on October 12th. Police said there was no clear connection between Hoffa and Mitchell, the first victim. Her body was found a half-mile from where Mitchell was killed. A 20-year-old Hispanic man with autism was shot dead at about 7:57 p.m. on October 19th on 15th Street near Wilder Avenue. Anthony Naiboa ended up in the area after taking the wrong bus home from work. He was walking toward a Route 9 stop when he was shot in the head and killed on the sidewalk. He was the eldest of 5 siblings and child of Carmen Rodriguez and Casimir Naiboa. He was born in the Bronx, New York, and moved to Florida when he was 9 years old. He was a rapper on SoundCloud known as James Firefox and was part of the furry fandom. At about 4:50 a.m. on November 14th, a 60-year-old man was crossing North Nebraska Avenue just north of East Caracas Street when the suspect came up behind him and fatally shot him. The victim, identified as Ronald Felton, was walking to the New Seasons Apostolic Ministries to meet the pastor to get ready to distribute food to families in need. He had been a volunteer at the food bank for more than a decade. Serial killer accused of terrorizing a Florida suburb and shooting dead, for people over 51 days, was caught after an extraordinary incident at a McDonald's restaurant, authorities have revealed. The break in the case came on Tuesday when Howell Emanuel Donalson, 24, brought a bag containing a loaded handgun to his job at a Tampa McDonald's and asked a coworker to hold it while he went across the street. The colleague was rattled and when Donaldson left, handed the bag over to the manager, who handed it to a police officer who was doing paperwork at the restaurant. The cop, identified as Officer Randy Whitney, called for backup, and by the time Donaldson had returned from his errand, police were waiting. "The gun is what we needed," Tampa Police Chief Brian Duggan said at a news conference surrounded by relatives of the victims earlier today. A person identified as Witness 3 approached the officer to tell them that his co-worker, Donaldson, gave them a McDonald's food bag and said he planned to leave the state, according to a criminal report affidavit filed early today in Florida's Hillsborough County, ABC News reported. Inside the bag was a .40 caliber Glock firearm loaded with SIG brand Smith & Wesson ammunition, the same weapon used in a string of mysterious slayings over the past 6 weeks in the suburb of Seminole Heights, officials said. The arrest overnight brought relief to a community left terrified about when the killer would strike next. The first shooting happened October 9th, followed by 2 more shooting deaths on October 11th and October 19th. By Halloween, the fear was so great that police escorted children while trick-or-treating. The 4th killing happened on November 14th. Donaldson did not live in Seminole Heights where the shootings occurred and told investigators he was unfamiliar with it, AP reported. He graduated from St. John's University in New York in January 2017, according to university spokesman Brian Brown. He was a walk-on for the men's basketball team during the December 2011 season, but never played in a game, Mr. Brown said. After graduating, he worked in customer support at the Ultimate Medical Academy, a school that trains workers for healthcare jobs. He started there on February 13th, working for about 3 months before he was fired for absenteeism, according to an academy spokesman. His LinkedIn account also listed a job as a guest experience host for the New York Mets in 2016. The Mets would neither confirm nor deny that he was employed by them when approached by AP for comment. Police in New York said Donaldson had been arrested in May 2014, but the arrest was sealed and no details were available. He was employed as crew chief at the Ybor City McDonald's at the time of his arrest and reported he told detectives he was unfamiliar with nearby Seminole Heights area where the shootings occurred. Authorities said Donaldson bought the gun and a 20-round box of bullets from Shooter's World in Tampa on October 3rd. He picked it up after the 4-day waiting period in the first killing happened 2 days after that. Detective Austin Hill wrote in a police report that Donaldson told investigators no one, except for himself, had control of the Glock firearm since his purchase. Analysis of Donaldson's mobile phone found location data that indicated 3 days of recorded times and activities corresponding with the first 3 shootings. The arrest report said police found clothing inside Donaldson's car that was similar to that worn by a person spotted in a surveillance video taken on the night of the first shooting. The police chief said authorities have not been able to determine why Donaldson chose the Seminole Heights neighborhood. All of the October victims were either getting on or off a city bus, or were at a bus stop when they were shot, police said. Donaldson was later found guilty on all counts of first-degree premeditated murder. His attorney tried to get his case retried due to him not giving lawful notice of consent to search his vehicle pertaining to the matters of this case. He then chose to enter a guilty plea to avoid the death penalty. His actions affected so many lives, and people like Donalson need to seek help and find peace within themselves, so tragedies like this can be prevented. Our hearts, thoughts, and condolences go out to all the people and families affected by the horrific actions of this man. If you know anyone dealing with antisocial, self-injurious, or violent behavior, don't be afraid to call the authorities or attempt to reach out if it is safe to do so.